What's going on, everybody? It's Joseph Xplosive with the Xplosive Videos, and today I'm bringing you the third installment in our Adobe Photoshop for beginners. Now, in our first video, I wanted to talk about what Photoshop actually is as a raster graphics editor. In our second video, we talked about what raster graphics actually are. Now, in video number 3, I originally planned that we were going to go through and I was going to show you the layout of Photoshop. We were going to go tool by tool and space by space and show you what everything is. But you know what? The best way to learn sometimes is just to jump right in. Now, we're all aware of the time age we're living in. Instagram, Twitter, Tinder, all these social platforms where people put graphics and images of themselves up on the internet. So I figured what we'd do is we just go ahead and jump right into things that people want to do from the gate in Photoshop. And along the way, you're going to learn other things like how to actually open an image in Photoshop, how to work on them blemishes, and different saving formats that you have with Photoshop. One thing I want to point out is I am working on a PC. So for all you Mac users, I would do my best to try to be bilingual and speak both languages so you guys know exactly what to do on your Mac. The first thing you should know in Photoshop is there are so many different ways to do one particular thing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open this photo that says boy blemishes in Photoshop. I'm going to give you my favorite way. If you're on a Mac, alright, I'm keeping you guys in mind. I believe it's going to be command and then you're going to click, and then I'm going to go ahead and go open with. Then I'm going to do my Adobe Photoshop CC 2015. Now my hope is that you guys have Photoshop or you're on your 30-day free trial of it. If you're working in an older Photoshop, I'm almost certain that the things that I'm going to be showing you as far as the basics are going to be, for the most part, the same across whether you're CS4 on up to the current. For the most part, everything as far as layout and everything should be exactly the same, but it might just look a little different. Alright, let's get to healing this poor baby's face right here. One thing we're going to do is we're going to go right here to our spot healing tool. We're going to click on that. One thing you might notice in Photoshop is there's these little arrows down at the bottom of some of these icons. All that means is if you click and hold down, you have a few more options and things that you can do. But all we're going to do is use this spot healing brush tool right now. Now, as you can see, the poor baby's got all these blemishes on his face. So what I'm going to do, and this is for both the Mac and PC users, I'm going to use that bracket, the right bracket, to increase the size of my circle that is going to heal this baby's face. Now, if you use the left bracket, it's going to decrease it. And then you also have the option of once you select that icon, you can go on up here and you can click, and you have the option to change the size of the brush as well. Up here you can change the hardness and the spacing, but I like using these brackets. That usually works. So all I'm going to do is with my left mouse or on your Mac, just click on the mouse. I'm just going to go pocket chop, and look what happened. It took everything inside of the circle, and it took pixels from the outside the circle to fix what was inside the circle. So now I'm just going to go around this boy's face and I'm going to take off some of these blemishes here. This is very simple, and you can do the whole click, or you can do the click and drag. You can do the whole painting like your name was Picasso. Speaking of Picasso, I like that Kanye West album. So I'm just gonna go ahead, finish doing this. All right, get that there. Oh, look at that little, I don't know what you would call a little mole thing there. We're gonna go ahead and clean that up there. Alright, so it's looking pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this image. I'm going to go up here at the top left, click File, and you can either do Save or you can do Save As. I'm going to do Save As, and it's going to take us to my original folder where I had this image. Now, the file extension is going to be a JPEG. It's going to be a JPEG because that's initially what I had. But in Photoshop, you have so many different varieties of formats that you can save your image as. I'm just going to point out a couple ones because this is a beginner for Photoshop, and most likely you guys won't be needing too many of these that are down in here. Now, the most popular ones are the JPEG, which is what I originally started with. That's a very common format for images. You also have the Photoshop PSD. You'll see the extension change there. What that is the actual Photoshop file. So if I wanted to go back in here and make some adjustments, and let's say I wanted to brighten up this image, or you know, change something to it or add something to it, I can go right back into this Photoshop file and I can do those adjustments. Then of course there's the original JPEG that we had, and another very popular one is ping. Let's say if I were to take young Daniel,
damn Daniel,
and I cut out the background and just had his image. Ping allows you to have that transparent background, but we're just gonna go ahead and go with the JPEG, and I'm gonna do, let's say, fixed. So now I click save, and it brings up some of the JPEG options. You can do a large file, which this gives you the size of the actual file that it will be, and this is how they rate it on the quality here. Or you could slide this down, and let's say I'm gonna do it, you know, a 3. That's gonna change the size there. But what I like to normally do is I like to keep it around 10 or 9. That way, look at 10. It's a very high quality photo and it is not taking up that much file space. This is great for what I originally said my purpose was going to be. I'm going to go ahead and put this on Tinder because my name is Young Tinder Daniel and I'm trying to get them females to swipe right, not swipe left. Alright my peeps, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Today we learned how to open an image in Photoshop, learn how to fix those blemishes on our photos, and also some different saving formats and how to save our photos. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't watched the first 2 videos, go back and watch those. I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care. Hope you learned something. Bye bye.